friends. Joy Torres over here. Thank you for joining me for this Hatha Flow class. I hope you're doing well. Today we're gonna be focusing on uncluttering the heart space. So lots of heart openers, shoulder work, quads as well. So make sure if you have props available to you, grab your props. If not, it's not a big deal. I will offer modifications. But if you do, you can grab a block or two. You can also have a blanket here, all right? So we're gonna start on our backs today, and I'm going to give you a couple of options. If you have a blanket, make sure you roll your blanket like a big burrito, and then you can bring the blanket right to the tips of the shoulder blades, or you can use the blocks, and you're gonna take the block to the in between the shoulder blades, and you can have the block a little bit on the lower setting, or you can have the block a little bit higher for a little bit more sensation. So I'm gonna be using the block today. The second block is really just to support your head in case you don't like your head hanging. So this should feel fairly comfortable. So you may need to wiggle around and adjust. Just taking a moment here to start to notice already what it feels like to expand a little bit more. And with your legs, you may bring them to butterfly and feel a nice stretch into the legs, the groins, or you can simply bring the feet wide and let the knees touch here. So again, it's always about being able to pause and listen and choose wisely, choose what best serves you at this moment, because yoga, it's the connection of mind, body, breath. So there's no separation. Start to soften a bit more. Soften the edges of your breath. Soften into the chest and shoulders. No need to change anything. Just allowing yourself to arrive slowly and start to expand your breath a little bit more. Add volume and texture to your breath. If you notice that your heart, your chest tends to contract and it's like the shrinking feeling, notice your need to run away, to escape the pose. Give yourself permission to be okay with discomfort. That's when the magic happens. As you start to observe the breath, notice if the breath is shallow, deep, slow, fast. And slowly start to make the breath, right? Direct your breath to move a little bit higher into the chest, collarbones, shoulders. If that's not available today or right now at this moment, it's okay. Again, there's no need to judge here to feel disappointment. And And then slowly, whenever you feel ready, bring the legs to touch. You may windshield wipe the legs a little bit. Roll to one side. Remove the props under the body. And again, move here a little bit. Wiggle. And then draw the knees in. Give yourself a little squeeze. Maybe you plant your hands on your knees and start to draw little circles. You can move your knees to the same direction or opposite direction. We're gonna take a supine twist, so let the knees fall to the right as you turn your gaze to the left. Keep your knees at least hip height or a little bit closer to the belly. Your right hand may rest on your knee here. Soften into the shoulders. That does not mean your shoulder needs to touch the floor. Directing the breath from the hip point up into the armpit, relaxing that shoulder a little bit more. And then mindfully come back to center. Slide your hips to the right. Let your knees fall to the left. And then slowly turn your gaze. Just breathe slowly, breathe fully here. So taking full rich inhales and exhales through the nose. Come back to center. We're gonna do a little bit of movement here. So I want you to think that you're moving through honey. You know, honey is like nice and heavy, thick. So just like that, move super slow here, friends. And I want you to focus on rolling each vertebrae. So you're moving from the core, pull that belly button in. So keep your feet hip width, make sure you walk your heels in. And you're gonna move your arms at the same time. And if that doesn't feel right, you can keep the hands on the floor. So inhale, so pull the belly in, lengthen that low back, and then slowly inhale. Move one vertebrae at a time until you lift your hips all the way up. And now slowly exhale, round that upper back, slow, mid back coming down all the way until the hips press. And then inhale, slowly reach. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more times. Follow your breath. Exhale slow. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Final one. Stay with me. Inhale. Exhale, slow, even slower. Maybe breathe all the way to a 6 count. Good, and release here. You can move the legs a little bit from side to side. And then we're gonna start to rock and roll the length of our spine. So hands can come behind the shin, the legs or over the shins. You can do this movement small, big, a little bit slower, or faster. And then we're gonna come here into a seated position. We're gonna work a little bit with Navasana boat pose. I always like to give options, so the heels can stay on the floor, or you can just tap the toes, or if you need a little bit more today, you're gonna tabletop the legs. And remember, you can always use the hands behind the legs. There's nothing wrong with that. All that I care is that you lift your sternum. Make sure you're not rounding your spine. So again, maybe the hands come here so you can bring the shoulder blades to hug behind your back. And breathe here. Notice if whether flexing or pointing your toes allows you to relax your hip flexors a little bit more. Stay here for 3, 2, 1. Hug your shins. Lengthen the spine. One more breath in. Stay for the exhale. All right, let's come into a tabletop. Continue to link breath to movement as you inhale. Lift your gaze, arch your spine, exhale round. Breathe in and breathe out. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All right, we're gonna go into threading the needle here. So before we thread all the way, we're gonna do a little bit of dynamic movement. So stay with me. On the 3rd time, that's when we're gonna hold our pose. So inhale, reach your left arm. Exhale, think as if you're going to thread your needle, but then you press up and open a little bit more. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, reach. Now exhale, thread your needle here. Rest your head on the floor. If your head is not easily touching the floor, you can always take a block under. Now, if it's available to you, extend your right leg out to the side. Make sure your foot is about in line with the hip. And then you can either keep your right hand on the floor or you can start to walk your fingertips towards the top left corner of your mat. Think about opening the chest here. Breathe into the upper back. Take another breath in. Stay for your exhale. All right, you're gonna keep your leg extended. You're gonna press yourself back into that tabletop, modified tabletop. Now friends, you're gonna walk your hands towards the left side. So bring your left hand in line with your hip and just take a side stretch here. Stargazer Pose. Breathe from that outer ankle all the way to the fingertips. Lead with your right hand, tone the belly. Inhale, come up. Exhale, switch sides. So this time your right hand comes in front of the shin. Your left arm reaches up and over. One more breath. And slowly just bring the hands in front of you. You can move a little bit, invite movements. You can inhale, arch cow pose. You can exhale, press back, child's pose. Do this a couple more times, and you can even add a little bit more, going into a hanging cobra as you inhale. The hips reach towards the floor, lift your gaze. Exhale. Final one. And come to that tabletop. So we're gonna thread the needle now, the right arm. So inhale, reach. Exhale, thread. Come up, inhale. Final one. Exhale, thread the needle. Take your time to fully arrive at the pose and then choose the variation that best serves you. Again, if it's available to you, extend your left leg out to the side. Left hand can stay in front of the chest, or you can walk your hand over your ear. Notice where your breath may be getting stuck. One more breath here. Walk your hand under the shoulder to own the belly. Press yourself into that modified tabletop. From here, just walk your right hand in line with the hip. Reach that left arm up and then spin your arm over your ear. Open that side body. So to work with back bends, it's super important to activate the core, to open the quads and hip flexors. Also the side body, right? So the ribs. And then of course, the upper body. One more breath here. Lead with your left hand. Inhale, reach. Get nice and long. Exhale, switch sides. So take your left hand in front of the leg. Reach your right arm up and over. Come back to center, inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. You can just bring your hands to the floor, and we're gonna go into downward dog. You may paddle your feet, you may invite small movements, big movements, make it yours. One more breath in. Stay for the exhale. Walk your hands towards your feet. Press your hands on your shins. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Shake the head, yes, no. One more inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to bow. Inhale, press your feet, bend your knees, flat back. Inhale to rise. Take the hands to the heart center. One more, breathe in. And breathe out, hands to the heart center. You're gonna cross your left leg behind the right. Circle the arms. Take your right hand to your left wrist. Reach up and over. And you can even bend your right knee here so you can get a little bit deeper into the side body stretch. How's your breath? Untuck your chin. Come back to center, friends, and then switch sides. So the left leg is going to be in front. Inhale, reach. Left hand grabs your right wrist. Take a breath in. Exhale, reach up and over to the left. And again, if you bend your left knee, you may find that you get a little bit more sensation here. Back to center, inhale, lace the fingers behind your back, exhale. Breathe in and breathe out, fold. Rinse your knuckles away from your spine, let your head hang. Breathe deeply into the hamstrings, into the low back. Release your hands to the floor. Walk forward to your plank. You can always hold it here or bring the knees to the floor if you need a little bit more support. Firm up your quads, press the palms. One more breath in. And then downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Now you can hold here. You can bring the knees down, or you can even tap your right knee to your right elbow and switch. Left knee, right knee. We're gonna do this one more time each side. So make sure you're not lifting the hips. And downward dog. Inhale, round your spine forward slowly until you come all the way down. We're going to start to, sorry, I'm adjusting here on this mat. We're gonna do a little quad stretch right away now. So you're going to take your left forearm in front of you. So you're like in a back bend right away. Now bend your right knee. You can use a strap or your hand is going to reach for your foot. Watch so you're not collapsing into your back bend. So press your forearm. You can even rotate the fingers forward so the elbow faces the ceiling. This requires a little bit more mobility here into the shoulder. Breathe into the quad. And slowly release. Switch sides. Set up here. Bend your knee. Take your hand or your strap to your foot. Remember to breathe, to soften. And slowly release. You're going to take your hands to your chin and walk the elbows. Come back a little bit more with the elbows, depending of course on your flexibility. So again, we are on the back bend here. Take one more breath. And then just stack your palms here. Make a little pillow with your hands and then slowly sway the hips from side to side. You can even bend your knees and windshield wipe here if you need a little bit more active variation. Curl the toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward, travel to the top of your mat. Take an inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. Breathe in and breathe out. Heart leads the way, fold. Take an inhale to lengthen. Exhale, step back or jump. You can move through your flow. You can skip all together. Knees can come down first. Choose a heart opener, a back bend of your choice here, but see if you can spend an extra breath. Slowly release. We meet in downward dog. Be mindful of your transitions. Notice if you tend to hit the autopilot button. If you tend to do the same thing over and over again, Open yourself to new possibilities. Bend your knees, look forward. Step or jump. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands at the heart. One more sun salutation, 8. Exhale, fold. Breathe in to lengthen. Breathe out, move like you. You can take cobra, upper dog, maybe spider cobra. Downward dog, that's where we meet. Take a moment here to stay in stillness. Raise your right leg to the sky, step your right foot forward. Raise your right arm, take a twist. And then slowly frame your right foot. Knee comes down to the floor for low lunge. Untuck your back toes. Raise your arms up towards the ceiling. So right away, get it into that left hip flexor, a little bit of the quad. Breathe here. Brighten the fingers, soften the shoulders. One more breath in. Slowly frame your foot. Slide your hips back, runner stretch, Ardha Hanumanasana. Blocks may be really handy here, friends. So if you notice, you tend to round your spine a lot, or maybe come to the fingertips instead of the hands flat on the ground. Now, lots of energy through the right foot. Inhale, rebend your knee, curl the back toes, step your left foot to meet your right. Breathe in to lengthen, and breathe out to fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands right back down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step your right foot back. Stack your knee over your ankle. Inhale, raise your left arm. And then slowly frame your foot. Gently take your right knee to the floor. Sweep your arms high. We have 3 mindful breaths here. Square off the hips. Dig that left heel on the ground. Feel your hamstring engaging. Final breath here. As you exhale, slowly frame your foot. Shift the hips back. Breathe at the belly of the hamstring. Send your hamstring some love here. Notice if you're feeling more sensation into the back of the leg or if you're feeling more into the low back. Final breath. Rebend your knee. We're going to step back to plank this time. Flow or just press back. Downward dog. Stay here for another breath. Use this opportunity to ground yourself. Raise your right leg to the sky. Take your right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist. Knee to the left elbow. Inhale, press back. Knee to the nose. Plant your foot. Knee over ankle. Inhale, raise your right arm. Square off the hips. Toe on the back leg unless, of course, if your knee's on the floor. Slowly release. Frame your foot. Knee comes down to the earth. Inhale, sweep your arms. This time, lace the fingers behind your back. So the knuckles are coming away from the spine and down towards the floor. We have another breath in. As you exhale, if you can, you're going to keep your bind, and then slowly you're gonna extend your right leg in front of you. So this is gonna challenge your balance, so it requires for you to stay present. Flex those toes, press that heel on the ground. Are you breathing? Slowly release your bind, curl the back toes, step left foot forward to meet your right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. One more, breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, fold. Inhale to rise. Hands at the heart center. One more, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale to lengthen, step your right foot back. Raise your left arm to the sky. Peel the chest open. And then slowly frame your foot. Take your knee down to the ground, untuck your back toes. You're gonna take that low lunge, Anjaneyasana. You're gonna lace the fingers one more time. Make sure you bring the opposite thumb on top of the way that you need to think about it. See if you can find something new here. Find a little more sensation. And then actually keep your bind if you can. And then slowly start to break the hips back, extending your left leg. So it's just a little different variation to do this pose, right? It definitely challenges your balance. Notice, again, the need to check out, to escape the pose, or if you start to hold the breath. One more breath in. Stay for the exhale. Release your hands, frame your left foot. You're gonna step back to plank and flow, or just press back to downward dog. Breathe in and breathe out. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Grab your elbows with opposite hands here for a moment. If it feels good to sway from side to side, bend one knee, then the other. Shake your head yes and no. As you inhale and rise, you're gonna draw the left knee with you, friends. Inhale, Come up, draw your left knee with you. And then open twist to your left. Stand tall, keep that standing leg strong. Come back to center, pause. Now start to draw your left heel back towards your glute. Your left hand is gonna grab your foot or your ankle. Draw your knee towards the midline. Inhale, reach. Lift your sternum, exhale, kick. Taking dancer's pose. Keep kicking and lifting. One more breath in, kick a little more, and slowly release. Shake it out a little bit. Just perhaps notice your reactivity to the pose. We don't want to really to react, right? We want to feel and to observe. Inhale, circle the arms. Exhale to fold. Let the low back get nice and long. If you want a little bit more sensation this time, you're going to either bind your big toes and pull, or you can wrap your forearms around the shins. Remember, you can bend your knees generously here. And slowly release. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. As you inhale and rise, draw your right knee with you. One-legged mountain. Exhale, open twist to your right. If you can, gaze towards your back hand here, your right hand. That will challenge your balance a little bit more. Grow an inch taller from the crown of your head. Mindfully come back to center. Now start to draw the right heel back. Grab a hold of your foot or your ankle. Draw the knee in towards the midline. Inhale, reach your left arm high. Exhale, kick your foot into your hand. Remember, if you gaze down, that's where your body is going to follow. So lift your gaze. Pull the belly in. Trust yourself. Kick a little more. And slowly release. Thank yourself for the efforts. Again, add a little bit of movement here. I definitely feel this in my mid-back. All right, inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to move like you. And then we meet in child's pose. So in this child's pose, I want you to bring your knees to touch. We're going to meet in downward dog whenever you're ready. Raise your left leg to the sky. Step your left foot forward. Now plant your right heel to about 45-degree angle your foot. So you have heel to arch alignment, friends. Inhale. Come all the way up. Warrior two. Breathe here. Shift your gaze past the left middle finger Dig your left heel on the floor. Hold that belly in as you lengthen your tailbone. Now soften the shoulders as well. Bend your knee another inch. Flip your left palm. Reach up and back. We're gonna add a little bit more of that side opening here. So keep reaching back, straight in your left leg. Lift your toes off the earth. Take your right hand to your left wrist. Reversed triangle pose. Slowly release your toes down. Keep your legs straight. Pivot your foot. So all 10 toes are facing the long side of your mat. Place the fingertips behind your back. Soften the knees a little bit. Pigeon toe your feet slightly. Take a breath in. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Get a little deeper into the shoulders. Find a little more sensation. Let the spine get long. Take your hands to your hips. Press through your feet. Inhale, slowly flat back, rise. Inhale, sweep your arms. Exhale, open warrior two to the other side. Take a lot of space on your sticky mat. Feel the pose. Breathe here. Flip your right palm, reach up and back. Peaceful warrior. As you keep reaching back, straighten your right leg, lift your toes. Left hand catches your right wrist. Again, notice if the belly is getting lazy, if the ribs are splaying out. Come back to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands this time. Take your vinyasa, your flow, or press back to downward dog. Come to downward dog. Take a moment here. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump to the top of your mat. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. You're gonna rise once again with that one-legged mountain. So inhale, draw your left knee with you. Open twist to your left. As you come back to center, cross your left ankle on top of your right leg, taking a figure four. Press the sits bones back, lengthen the spine. Breathe, flex the toes. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold a little deeper. Inhale, rise, draw your right knee with you. Exhale, open twist to your right. Stand tall, grow tall from the crown of the head. Come back to center. Cross your ankle on top of the leg. Breathe in and breathe out. Fold, sit low. Keep bending through the left knee. Curl the toes. One more breath, friends. inhale to rise. Inhale, sweep your arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step your left foot back. Heel to arch alignment. Inhale, rise, warrior two. So we were here not too long ago. Flip your right palm, reach up and back. We're back in that peaceful warrior. Now take your right hand to the nape of the neck, so behind your neck. Your left hand reaches back and the fingers may or may not touch. If that's not happening, a strap, towel, or even just grabbing your shirt and pulling into opposite direction might be helpful. Bend your right knee another inch. Press the back of the head into the arm. Now straighten your right leg. Pivot your foot, so 2 straight legs here. Take an inhale. Exhale, keep your bind. Hinge at the hips. One more breath in. Stay for your exhale. Press through the feet. Inhale, slowly flat back, rise. And relax your arms. Give yourself a nice hug. Inhale, open the arms. Give yourself another hug. Bring the opposite arm on top. Inhale, sweep. Gaze up. Exhale, open, warrior two. Facing the other side. So meet the pose where you left off. You can always find something new. Flip your left palm, reach up and back. Peaceful warrior. We're gonna add that bind, so left hand comes behind the back, right hand meets, or again, you grab your shirt or your strap. Just make sure you're not pressing your head forward. Contain your ribs. One more breath in. Straighten your left leg, pivot your foot, take an inhale. Exhale, slowly fold. One more breath. Just release your hands to the floor. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, walk your hands towards your right foot. Bring your left knee to the ground. We're gonna come into lizard. So walk your right foot as wide as your sticky mat. Maybe you come down to the forearms, maybe not. If you need a little bit more of an opening into the hip, turn your foot to 45-degree angle and take that knee away from your spine. The spine is long. Breathe here for one more. Slowly, if you're down your forearms, straighten your arms again, friends. You're gonna add one more quad stretch here. So bend your left knee, right hand catches your foot or your ankle. Bring the tips of the shoulder blades to kiss behind your back. One more breath here. And then slowly release. Feel free to move through a flow or just find a resting pose. We have 3 breaths, whether you choose child's pose or downward dog. And now, just go back to your downward dog if you're in child's pose, and we're gonna go into lizard right away on the left side. So again, your knee can come down to the ground, your foot can turn slightly out and knee away from the armpit. You may or may not come down to the forearms on the side. Support yourself in any way that's needed. Notice the need to grip, to resist to the stretch. And then slowly straighten your arm if you were down. You're gonna bend your right knee, grab a hold of your foot or your ankle or your strap. Lean back here. Notice if you can create a little bit more space and trust a little more. Slowly release. Just step back to a downward dog. Paddle the feet. Maybe you open the knees wide and press the sits bones back. Take your right leg high. Step your right foot forward. We're gonna go back to the warrior 2. Gaze here towards the right middle finger. 5 more sensation. Another breath in. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Come back to warrior 2 as you inhale. Rainbow warrior as you exhale. So it's basically a side lunge here. So that left foot's flat, lift your right heel. Listen carefully, stay low to the ground. Make sure your toes are pointing forward. We're gonna find the Halfmoon Pose. So your right hand just towards the pinky toe side, about a foot in front. First arrive here. A block may be handy. Flex your toes out to the side. Option to just stay here with your hand on your hip. You can reach your arm up towards the sky, or you can bend your left knee, grab a hold of your foot for Chapasana, sugar cane, as you kick that foot towards the wall behind you. So you're working on a back bend here. Standing legs strong. Breathe, friends. One more. Mindfully release if you took a bind. Come back to warrior 2. Inhale. Stay for the exhale. Straighten your right leg. Pivot your foot. Take a breath in. And then exhale, hinge at the hips. Take a break here. Grab your elbows with opposite hands, or any variation really that serves you. Soften the edges of the breath. Slow down. Try not to worry what's coming next. Stay present in your body. Hands to the hips. Inhale, slowly come up. Exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, open to warrior two. Take another breath in here. Exhale, flip your palm, reach up and back. Peaceful warrior. Watch so the head is not hanging. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale to rainbow warrior. So bend your knee, extend the other leg, lift your toes. Stay low to the ground, gaze towards your left foot. Take the hand forward, raise your right leg, find that Ardha Chandrasana, Halfmoon Pose. Notice that maybe the variation you took on the other side, it may not be available on this side. Be kind to yourself. If you want, you can grab a hold of the right foot, kick your foot behind your back. One more breath in. Mindfully, gracefully back to warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands. Option to move through one last flow here. Find child's pose. We're gonna take pigeon pose on the right side. If you know pigeon bothers your knee, make sure that you have props handy. We're gonna take our right knee behind the right wrist, right foot towards left wrist. Lengthen through the back leg, lift the heart, and then slowly start to fold if that feels good. Use this opportunity to give yourself a little bit more permission to just surrender to what is. Three more breaths. And then slowly start to walk your hands back. You're gonna roll towards the right sit bone and then swing your left leg around, crossing your right foot over the left leg. Plant your foot on the ground. So we have roughly ankle to knee alignment here, friends. If you notice one sit bone is not touching the floor, it might be nice to place that blanket underneath. All right, now take your left hand behind your back so you can stay on the fingertips or hand flat. Raise your right arm, lengthen the spine, exhale, hook your elbow and twist. Keep those shoulders over the hips, sit tall. Gaze towards that left shoulder. Find a new point for you to gaze. And slowly release. Take a counter twist here. And slowly release. From here, you can just keep the left shin in front and swing your right leg around, or you can press back into downward dog and find your pigeon. Same amount of awareness, dedication. Again, you may need to modify here. Use props. Use whatever you need. Find that peaceful, quiet space within yourself. Notice if you start to grip the fingers, or if you're transferring tension to the shoulders, your jaw. Final breath. Start to walk your hands back. Slowly swing your right leg around. Roll towards that left sit bone. You're going to cross your right leg over. Sit nice and tall. Take your right hand behind your back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hook your elbow and twist. Stay active through your twist. And slowly release. Take your counter twist here, friends. And release. All right. Windshield wipe the legs a little bit. You're going to bring your legs to butterfly, and if you notice that you tend to, slouch and round the spine too much, it might be nice here to sit on the edge of a blanket just to elevate the sits bones a little bit. And then option to bring the feet closer in, or you can bring the feet a little bit more away from you, more of like a diamond shape with the legs. And then slowly just fold. It doesn't have to be a huge movement here. A block on top of the feet may be nice. Allow the spine to round, the shoulders to relax. Notice where you feel the most sensations. We have 3 more slow breaths here. Maybe you lower the block just a little bit. Breathe into that low back, mid back, upper back. Let's take a big breath in. Open mouth, exhale. One more, breathe in. And breathe out. Slowly walk the hands back. Oh, that was nice. Windshield wipe the legs. And then we're gonna come down to our backs. Take your time getting there. Adjust the shoulders. Let the sacrum feel heavy on the ground. All right, we're gonna work with 2 rounds of back bends here. We're gonna start with bridge pose, so feet hip width, walk the heels in, press your feet, lift your hips off the mat. Option to walk the shoulders in. You can lace the fingers behind your back, or you can grab the edges of your mat. If you're lacing the fingers, reach the knuckles towards, press the hands on the floor and reach the knuckles towards your heels. Breathe, keep your neck neutral, lift your gaze. And slowly lower your upper back, mid back, hips down to the ground. Windshield wipe the legs. Second one, option to take the same variation, or you can take a block either to the lowest setting or to the mid setting. Make sure the block is horizontally, and you press your feet, lift your hips, place the block in the small of your back in that little bony area. We have 5 breaths here, friends. You can even do a little leg variation. You can raise one leg for 1 breath, and you can do this without the block as well. It's gonna be a little bit more challenging, but you can do that. Raise the opposite leg. And release. So if you have a block, lower the setting, so to the lowest setting. If you don't, just lower your hips to the ground, and we're all going to raise our legs for Waterfall Pose. If you wish to move towards the wall and raise your legs, that's also a nice variation. You walk the sits bones to close to the wall to touch, raise the legs, and you can even play with leg variation and bring the soles of your feet to touch. Otherwise, just keep the legs nice and straight. The legs are heavy. Take 3 more breaths here. And then slowly release. We're going to take happy baby. Let's release the low back a little bit more. So making sure your sacrum is on the ground, hands to shins, ankles, or the edges of your feet. Again, less is more. Try to keep the integrity of the pose, but soften, find stillness so you can melt internally. And then slowly release, hug the knees in, wrap your forearms around your shins, forehead to knees, squeeze everything nice and tight, say something kind to yourself, and find Shavasana. Extend your legs, extend your arms. Find that sweet spot where you can completely surrender. You can let go of any efforts. Just allowing yourself to receive the beautiful gifts of yoga. Allow your body to absorb the benefits. Relax your toes, your feet, soften your ankles. Allow the shins to feel heavy. As you soften the knees, relax your quads. Soften your hip flexors, relax your belly. Allow the chest to feel heavy as you relax your shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. Relax your jaw. Soften all the muscles of your face. Soften the lips. Allow the eyes to float. Breathe life back into fingers and toes as you deepen your breath and your awareness once again. Maybe move your head from side to side. On your next inhalation, reach your arms over, hug the knees in. Find a seated position. Sit tall, heart lifts. Hands to the heart center, bow your head slightly as you take a moment here to thank yourself for your efforts, for showing up, for getting rid of the clutter so you may be able to clear space in your mind and physical body. Thank you for spending your time with me. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you, friends, for joining me today. It's always an honor to guide you. Yes, I hope you enjoyed, and until next time.